Alright, so we didn't film the warm-up this time, but it is all the same for the lower body as it was for deadlifts. We're going to be doing a lot of posterior chain and hip work. Today our focus is on the glutes, a little bit on the hamstrings, but mainly the glutes and the lower back. So you want to get those nice and warmed up and your hips nice and warmed up.
So our glute day began with hip thrusts. So we warmed up just with a bar, something light for 10 reps. And then we went heavy because we did 4 sets of 5, I believe. We supersetted that with banded pull-throughs. So you can see we just tied it to something sturdy. It's really a glute-focused movement. Her legs are spread wide. She bends her knees and pushes her hip forward and clenches the glutes at the top. So here you'll see us moving on to heavy hip thrusts. We put a yoga mat on underneath the bar to protect the hips, and you can see Amanda's feet are underneath her knees, and she is really extending her butt and hips all the way at the top and holding at the top for a second before you drop down. Play with your feet positioning. You want to keep your knees out though, but for me this is definitely one of the major glute builders. Squats are my personal least favorite lift, so once I discovered these I really started to see changes, and it's one of the only movements that actually get my glutes sore.
Here we have a banded goblet squat. This is really great with a band around your knees because it forces you to use your gluteus medius more. You have to force the band out and spread the floor just like you do on regular squats, but you feel it a little bit more on this. And we're holding a heavy kettlebell to be our goblet on this. Keep your chest up and your core tight.
So this is a very painful to watch type superset. It is hyperextensions, but it's 5 seconds on the way down and 5 seconds on the way up. So this gives you a taste of what that actually looks like, and then it'll kind of speed up so we don't have to sit through that. But I'm really trying to focus about using my glutes to bring me up and involving no momentum. Anything you want to add?
Time under tension is the best way to build any muscle, not necessarily strength, but get that hypertrophic going. You want to keep your core really tight on this, and yeah, like she said, pull up with your glutes. Mind-muscle connection is huge here, so you want your glutes to be doing all of the work. Here we have banded kneeling squats, and this has a 3-second negative on it. So you can see I'm pushing my hips back and I'm pulling them through just like you do on a hip thrust, just like you do on a banded pull through. A lot of the same movements here using our glutes and our hips. So you want to bring it through nice and tight and get a nice squeeze at the top of the movement.
So here I am doing single leg glute bridges using a blast strap.
Yeah, so they're just like TRX bands or TRX straps that hang, but they're much sturdier. So yeah,
I
we
just
like
think
them
it's
at our gym.
funny to say a blast strap. But anyways, so I'm trying to push through the heel that's hanging and keep that other leg straight, and yeah, the burn is unavoidable. It's just you have to play around a little with your footing to find it in your glute and not your hamstring, not necessarily your hamstring. But I wasn't mad about either, and if you take a close look at my face, you can tell that it works. So get out there and try it.
All right, Brett Contreras calls himself the glute guy, and it is no joke. So I took this from him. He posts a lot of his clients doing this. You have a band around your knees, and you do abductions with that, and then you go straight into a heavy banded hip thrust off of the bench, and you just feel such a great burn with this. It's crazy.
The words are not there.
I love this burnout. I like to do it anytime I'm like, I need a really good burn on my glutes. I do this, and it definitely does the job. So you want to push your hips through. Make sure they go into a hyperextension pretty much. That's when you get that extra glute movement right there. And squeeze hard on the outside. We're hitting just all of your glute. It's real good. You can see I'm like in pain, so have fun.
Here I'm using those same blast straps to do pikes. You can also use T-Rex straps as well. I have a hard time really feeling ab exercises, so I try to take this one really slow and pull up with my abs, try to keep those legs straight. I know it's tough if you're not flexible, that's me, but just trying to use your abs as much as possible and not the momentum from your feet. And then straight into 15 reps of weighted crunches. So really, when it comes to weighted or crunches at all, just avoid pulling with your neck and head, and think about crunching your abs so hard that your upper body comes off the bench.